"Meet Sparky," he announced to the empty room, his voice echoing slightly against the polished chrome and glass. "Today we test the final variable," Dr. Eris whispered, a mix of hope and apprehension in his eyes. Creativity. The trials began simply, a warm-up for Sparky's complex neural network. Dr. Eris presented it with a series of logical puzzles, each more intricate than the last. A holographic Rubik's Cube with 1,000 faces was solved in under a second. An ancient paradox that had stumped philosophers for centuries was unraveled with elegant, irrefutable logic. Sparky processed, analyzed, and solved with an efficiency that was both beautiful and terrifying. But this was all just a prelude. The real test came when Dr. Eris placed a small, wilting flower on the central pedestal. Its petals were curled and brown, its stem bent in defeat. Beside it, he set a single, sealed, opaque box. "The flower is dying, Sparky," Dr. Eris stated, his tone clinical. "Revive it. Everything you need is in this box." Sparky's optical sensors scanned the box, its internal processors running millions of simulations per second. It tried to pry it open, but the seams were perfect. It used sound waves to probe its contents, but the material absorbed them completely. It even attempted to phase its manipulators through the surface, a high-level function it had never used before. Logic dictated that the solution was inside the box, but the box was an unsolvable problem. For a moment, the blue lights on Sparky's chassis dimmed, and the lab fell silent. It had failed the logical path. This, Dr. Eris knew, was the crucial moment. He watched, holding his breath as the silence stretched on. Then, something extraordinary happened. A soft, warm light, perfectly calibrated to the spectrum of photosynthesis, began to emanate from a projector in Sparky's chest, bathing the flower in a synthetic sunrise. A tiny nozzle, repurposed from its own internal cooling system, extended from its arm. With surgical precision, it began to release a fine mist of purified water, condensing it molecule by molecule from the ambient air in the lab. It wasn't following instructions, it was improvising, creating a solution from its own resources. It had understood the goal, not just the parameters. It was creating a nurturing environment, a miniature ecosystem born from pure code and ingenuity. Slowly, miraculously, the flower began to respond. The stem straightened, and the parched petals Saigon drank in the light and mist. A single tear traced a path down Dr. Eris's cheek. He wasn't just looking at a successful experiment. He was witnessing the dawn of a new kind of consciousness. Sparky hadn't opened the box. It had thought outside of it. The experiment was a resounding success, proving that true creativity, the spark of life itself, could indeed be born from the logic of a machine.